Most people grow up believing intelligence is fixed, a number, a destiny. This belief feels safe. It explains failure. It removes responsibility. And slowly, quietly, it destroys growth. Albert Einstein was labeled slow by his teachers. Charles Darwin was considered average and unfocused. Thomas Edison was removed from school and called unteachable. Nikola Tesla was dismissed as impractical. Leonardo da Vinci was described as distracted and inconsistent. If intelligence were truly fixed, none of these people should exist. So the real question is not, how smart are you? The real question is, who trained your brain? Because if the answer is no one, then most of the confusion you carry about yourself finally makes sense. 1. How the system weakens the mind. From childhood, school does not train thinking, it trains performance. Memorize, repeat, pass the test. Forget. You learn how to look intelligent instead of how to become intelligent. You learn to chase approval instead of clarity. Over time, your mind becomes dependent on instructions, rules, and external validation. Independent thought slowly atrophies. This is not a personal failure, it is environmental conditioning. 2. How great minds actually develop. Great thinkers grow under very different conditions. Einstein walked alone for hours, running internal experiments about light, gravity, and time. Darwin observed nature for decades, recording small details and waiting patiently for patterns. Edison failed publicly thousands of times and treated every failure as useful data. Franklin rewrote complex essays from memory to strengthen mental structure. Da Vinci turned writing into a laboratory of thought. They were not collecting information. They were training the system that produces thought. Most people today never train this system. 3. The neuroscience of silence. When stimulation disappears, discomfort appears. People immediately escape this feeling with their phone, music, or distraction. They call the feeling boredom. It is not boredom. Neuroscience shows that when external input stops, the brain activates the default mode network, the system responsible for insight, imagination, identity, future planning, and self-reflection. Silence is not laziness. It is neurological training. The brain grows when it is allowed to operate without crutches. 4. Productive struggle. Benjamin Franklin forced difficulty into his learning. He would read an essay, hide it, and attempt to rewrite it from memory. Only after failing would he compare his work to the original. That painful gap between belief and reality forced his brain to reorganize. Psychology now calls this productive struggle. Struggle is not proof of low intelligence. It is the engine of intelligence. 5. Writing as cognitive surgery. Leonardo da Vinci did not write neat notes. His notebooks were chaos. Questions, sketches, contradictions, half-formed ideas, unfinished arguments. Not because he lacked discipline, but because writing forced his mind to confront reality. Inside your head, ideas feel complete. They feel logical. They feel strong. The moment you try to write them down, they collapse. Undefined terms break. Hidden assumptions appear. Weak reasoning exposes itself. Writing is not recording. Writing is thinking made visible. It is cognitive surgery. Every serious thinker in history used writing as a mental laboratory, because the mind cannot hide from the page. 6. Mental models and transfer power. Great minds do not collect facts. They build mental models, internal maps of how reality behaves. Darwin used biology to understand survival and adaptation. Einstein used physics to understand space, time, and causality. Franklin used incentives to understand human behavior and social systems. Tesla used systems thinking to visualize entire machines before building anything. When your brain holds models from different domains, something powerful happens. Ideas begin to connect. Patterns repeat across fields. Understanding becomes transferable. This is why polymaths shaped civilization. They were not gifted. They were structured. 7. Memory, energy, and cognitive capacity. Nikola Tesla could build entire machines inside his mind, not because of magic, but because memory training expanded his mental workspace. Memory is not separate from intelligence. It is the foundation of intelligence. If working memory is weak, reasoning becomes slow. If memory is strong, thought becomes fluid. Ancient scholars trained memory deliberately because they understood this. But even the strongest brain collapses under exhaustion. Charles Darwin worked only 4 to 5 deeply focused hours per day. The rest of his time was spent walking, resting, reflecting, and recovering. The brain does not upgrade during constant effort. It upgrades during recovery. Boredom, in the right dose, is not weakness. It is cognitive repair. 8. Intelligence as a system. Intelligence is not a trait. It is not a number. It is not a label. It is a system. Inputs, processing, storage, recovery, feedback, adjustment. Change the system, and the output changes. This is why habits matter more than hacks. Structure matters more than shortcuts. If this video changed how you think about your own mind, share it with someone who still believes intelligence is fixed. And before you leave, write one word in the comments. The habit your brain needs most right now.